Hi there. Hey everyone. It's you once again, and I wanna welcome everyone back for another movie review. And of course, this time I'm going to review for this channel, Rambo McLean for Life, the first Arnold Schwarzenegger film because I never reviewed any Arnold films on this channel. But we'll be talking about Predator 1987. And in case if you're wondering, I do have my own homemade Blu-ray cover because it kind of looks like the original poster, and I love Arnold being on this cover. Which, by the way, this is a handmade, so I prefer this handmade. But yeah, I love Arnold with his M16 automatic rifle and his grenade launcher. And behind, is actually the camouflage silent eyes from Predator. Soon the hunt will begin. Predator 97, Arnold Schwarzenegger's favorite film of mine. What can I say about Predator 97 that was already said? Because people already talk about it. There are so many reviewers on YouTube about this film. But it's a classic. It's a quintessential, pure badass epic action film. All the cast are actually bodybuilders. Special effects, visual effects are great. The story is great. It's an action film. I think there was a video a long time ago writing why Predator 97 is so good. There were spawned three sequels. There were actually spawned three sequels, and there's also a video game which came out last year, Predator, the Hunting, I think was Hunting Grounds, which Arnold Schwarzenegger reprised his role as Major Alan Dodge Schaefer, and he reprised his role. He landed voice and his character from this movie came out in the video game for PlayStation 4, Predator Hunting Grounds. Never played it, but it's nice to see that Arnold Schwarzenegger still talks about this film. And many of the people say that Arnold Schwarzenegger's best film is actually Terminator 2 Judgment Day or The Terminator, but I also say that's Predator. And my favorite Arnold film used to be Terminator 2, but it's been replaced by Predator because Predator is actually my favorite Arnold film that he ever did. But not only Arnold Schwarzenegger that he did great job, everyone did great job. Directed by John McTiernan, who directed this film, which is my favorite that he did. Written by John Thomas, great story. Great effects. I don't know what else to say about the film that's already been said, The cast was great. I have to say, Kevin Peter Hall was not just only fantastic actor who played the role of Predator. He was one of the most nicest people I have actually seen. No, I did not know him in real life. I was actually only 8-9 years old when he passed away. So rest in peace. But I did watch the making of Predator on Blu-ray special features. When I used to have that film, how's it called? Hunter edition. I think it was Ultimate Hunter edition. But I sold it, that Blu-ray. I used to have that Blu-ray, but I sold it, and someone made me this film, so I don't have that Hunter edition anymore. I sold it to someone that needed more because I was really unhappy with that film, how it looked like wax. It was so terrible. Picture was so god awful. I don't know about 4K. I don't have 4K. I don't watch 4K, so I can't say anything about it. But yeah. When I saw the special features, Ken Peter Hall was the nicest actors ever. He played in the movie and the TV show here in the Hendersons. He played that 7 foot tall Bigfoot, which was awesome. And I think that his best role, in my opinion, is actually Ultimate Hunter, Predator, an alien from other planet, and he's the Ultimate Hunter. and unseen enemy, and he has like camouflage, and I just love how Stan Winston helped to design the creature feature. And Predator is, in my opinion, is the most fierce hunter of all. I know it's a fiction, but it's a badass. There are also comics about it. And Major Alan Dutch Schaefer is actually my favorite comic book hero because I grew up with this film. And I love both the films. Predator 1 and 2, I love the most. I love both of them. But this movie was actually the first of the two I saw. I saw this movie back in 1995 when I was actually 11 years old. And that time on TV, there were both films, the Predator 1 and 2. But it was at 10 p.m. They actually were reruns of the first and the second movie. I could not watch the sequel because it was actually way too late. It was around midnight when I finished this film. So I went to bed because I was really exhausted and tired. So I only saw this film. And I thought that Predator 2 was Arnold Schwarzenegger in it. I didn't know it was Danny Glover, but the first time I saw that film, I said, cool. Before I continue about the story, which already knows, everyone knows the story. Jean-Claude Van Damme, from this movie that I got today, Hard Target, he actually was hired to play Predator because they were looking for someone who's a martial artist. They wanted like a martial artist hunter predator who's like a ninja, and he's like martial artist. But Van Damme was complaining that the suit was way too hot, that he was like passing out, and he refused to go on a camera without that suit. He did not want to show them on the camera without suit, and he was keep on complaining. But Van Damme claims that he left himself as the film, but actually he was fired because all the bodybuilders were tall from 6.2 to 6.5. Van Damme is tall 5.9, so he's too small. So Kevin Peter Hall got the role because he was tall. He was 7'2" tall. He was 7 tall, 7 foot tall. That's one of the reasons Kevin Peter Hall was actually chosen to play Predator, the ultimate alien. He's not actually, but actually he's unseen, he's wearing that unseen camouflage. And like I said, Stan Winston, he helped to design the creature, because I saw a screen test with Van Damme, and that suit was like pink suit, it was they did not know how to do that suit that time. But like I said, Stan Winston helped them out, so this movie got an Oscar for Best Special and Visual Effects, which was held by Stan Winston, Joel Hynek, Robert M. Greenberg, and Richard Greenberg. They actually got an Oscar for the best visual special effects. So that's awesome, And like I said, Predator is quintessential sci-fi action film, the best one from the 80s. There's not gonna be, I don't think nowadays not gonna be movies like this, Predator, But yeah, I'm glad that Kevin Peter Hall got the role, because Van Damme, I don't know, I think he will be way too small in my opinion. But I'm glad that Van Damme did those movies that enjoy, like Hard Target, Universal Soldier, Cyborg, Kickboxer, Death Warrant, which I love to death, Double Impact, all the movies that I love he did, especially this movie about Demolition Man, Hard Target. But yeah, Predator is one of my favorite sci-fi films, one of my favorite action films, one of my personal favorite action films, my personal favorite Arnold Schwarzenegger film, always going to be my favorite Schwarzenegger film. But not only that Schwarzenegger did a great job and Kevin Peter Hall, the rest of the cast was great. Jesse Ventura as Blaine was fantastic. I mean, I don't think that anyone gives him a credits. I'm not gonna give him credits. He was great. I love that he was wearing that machine gun. was actually minigun, GM134 minigun. The same minigun later Arnold Schwarzenegger used in Terminator 2 Judgment Day. But Jesse Ventura was great as Blaine. I love his character. Come on, you fuckers, all paid in Sweden. Payback time. I don't have time to bleed. Jesse Ventura was perfectly cast. He was so great that he reunited with Arnold Schwarzenegger in The Running Man when he played Captain Freedom. And yes, The Running Man is my second favorite Arnold film. And my third favorite is Total Recall. But my favorite of Arnold is actually Predator, always. John McTiernan was fantastic. It's a masterpiece. Yeah, but like I said, Jesse Ventura did a great job. Bill Duke plays Mac. Bill Duke and Arnold Schwarzenegger both reunited after they did Commando. I think he played Duke in Commando, which he gets killed by John Matrix. But in this movie, they actually in the same team. They're actually the same team, which is awesome. It was fantastic. Carl Weathers from Rocky films. He's in this movie. He plays Dylan, CIA agent who's actually assigned to Major Alan Dutch Schaefer's team. Carl Weathers was fantastic. He did a great job. He was great. I'm surprised that after he was killed in Rocky 4, he did this movie. I'm really glad that he was in this movie. He played Dylan. Dylan, you son of a bitch! I love that. Sonny Landham was in this movie. Rest in peace, poor Sonny Landham. He and Darlanne Fluegel were both. They're actually both in Rock Up with Sylvester Stallone. They both passed away the same year. I mean, how is that? How can that happen? They both passed away 2017. I think Darlanne Fluegel, who actually played Melissa in Sylvester Stallone's Lock Up, she passed away in December. I think Sonny Landham passed away in August. I'm not sure. But correct me if I'm wrong. But anyway, rest in peace, Sonny Landham. He played Bill in this movie, which he gets killed by Predator. He gets killed by Eddie Murphy in 48 Hours. He gets killed in Best of the Best 2. I think it was just titled Best of the Best 2. I don't know who already killed his character in that film. But Sonny Landham was really ashamed that he passed away. So was Darlanne Fluegel. It's really sad that so good actors died. It's just I just miss him. I mean, this was made 1987. Such an 80s classic in my opinion. It was $13 million. I think it was $13 million, but made 1980 almost $100 million in the box office. But was only budget $13 million for creating such a great film, such an epic sci-fi film. And by the way, that time Arnold was at the top of the world, and not only he was in the top of the world, he was also this movie was so popular that they actually did filmmakers tried to do their own Predator films. I think there was RoboWar with Reb Brown. It was like Predator film. The other TVs, they tried to do movies like Predator. So popular that time was. And I think that John McTiernan, before he did Nomad until he got the role to direct Predator. And if you watch my rant on Beverly Hills Cop 3, I said that I wish that John McTiernan would be on board for Beverly Hills Cop 4. But no, he's not gonna do that. But I wish he would be, on board. At least he would fix the Beverly Hills Cop 3, in my opinion. But John McTiernan, he directed right after he directed this movie. He directed this film I reviewed, Die Hard. But that was just awesome. Writing the screenplay was so beautiful. Writing, Jim Thomas, they did great job. Alan Silvestri did a beautiful music score. There was also Shane Black as Hawkins. It's really sad and a shame that Shane Black, he wrote and directed the fourth movie, The Predator, which was a piece of shit movie. It was so terrible. I mean, last year it was terrible when I watched that film. When I rewatched the film, every time I rewatch, I get gray hair. So much I hate it. I know I don't have them, but yeah. But it was a shame that he did so terrible film. I mean, he was in this movie and he couldn't stick the formula to from this film to the fourth one. But that was really terrible, you know. But yeah, Shane Black did a good job as Hawkins. He was the first one to be killed. Richard Chavez as Pancho did a great job. Yeah, and of course Elpidia Carrillo, she was Anna. She isn't that much the actress, isn't on air anymore, but she was also great. All the cast, in my opinion, were great. Sven Olse Thoren, who was in numerous movies bad guy. He was also in Little Weapon bad guy. He was in Stan Seagal's movie like On Deadly Ground. He was bad guy on numerous films. He was in this film in which Arnold goes in that cabin, breaks the door and says clock clock and shoots him, and that guy was Sven Ole Thorsen. But yeah, so the story already know. A group, actually a team of commandos led by Major Alan Schiffer, who plays Arnold Schwarzenegger. They are recruited to go in Central America to save the hostages that were actually captured by guerrillas. Dillon and CIA agent goes with them. They have only one job to save the hostages and get back. You know, one mission. They actually go in Central America in the jungle. They go to the jungle. They go on a rescue mission. You know, because they're not mercenaries, they're actually a rescue mission. They go on a rescue mission. They blow a bunch of bad guys, and there's like over 30 bodies in this movie. They actually go and they found a skin, people being skinned down in the helicopter. They go on the rescue mission, blow the bad guys. They try to save hostages. They found all the hostages dead. They actually now try to go back, you know, to helicopters, but they have to walk 12 miles because the area is not secured. So they capture this girl Anna, played by Elpidia Carrillo. She's actually with the guerrillas. They now go through the jungle, but unaware there's actually the ultimate hunter who wears who actually goes and wears he's like camouflage, he's unseen, is actually a hunter, and he's not from our planet. He's actually he's not from Earth, and yeah, he's not from Earth, yeah, he's unseen enemy. He's a predator. He's ultimate hunter. He's a creature. He's not from our planet. He hunts people for sport. You know, he goes and hunts people for sport, and he stalks the elite commando. And the first time that he goes, he actually kills Hawkins, played by Shane Black. Because he was a weapon. He hunts them for trophies. He collects them as trophies, kills them. He skins them and he collects their skulls as their trophies. And when Hawk is being killed, the next one is Blade. And Predator is stalking them, hunting them, and kills them one by one. So Major Alan Schaefer tries to defend his grounds by putting a few booby traps, but he can see through their heat vision because he wears that kind of unseen camouflage. And every time they actually set a booby trap, you know, something goes horrible wrong. By the finale, Predator kills all the elite commando until only two stays there, and only Major Alan Schaefer and Anna, they stay the only one alive. and of course, Dutch says to Anna, run, go to the chopper. She goes, he gets shot by that plasma gun. He gets shot by shoulder plasma gun. It's actually called blow dryer gun, but I'm sure call it on the shoulder plasma gun. He gets fired. He becomes hunted. But Arnold, Major Arnold Dutch Schaefer jumps, actually falls down the waterfall. That was actually done for real. It was actually a stunt double. It was actually a stunt double. It's been done for real. But yeah, you can see the camera. It's not Arnold. It's actually a stunt double, but it's done for real. It was a very dangerous stunt. And of course, Predator jumps, goes after him until Dutch finally swims through the water from the waterfall, and he gets covered with mud. And that's how he finds out his weaker point when Predator cannot see him. When he was searching him in that water, he cannot see him. And now the hunted becomes the hunter, and Dutch says those booby traps. He makes that wooden long dog tags. That sharp wooden long dog tags. Puts all the booby traps. He uses. He also makes a bow with a long wooden stick. He makes a bow. He also makes those arrows, very sharp arrows, and he has like 2 or 3 barrels from his grenade launcher, and he puts those grenade. He actually ties one of those barrels on the arrow, and when he sets the trap for the Predator, he grabs that arrow and fires the arrow and hits Predator. And Predator has like plasma gun on his shoulder. He has that long. He has that long 2 blades on his hand. Yes, he has a long blade on his hand, and he kills people, for sport, and And of course, Alan, actually Dutch is the only one that fights off Predator, and he says bleed bastard, and he wounds him. He goes and wounds him. He goes and wounds him. And on the end, he fights off Predator because Predator took his helmet off. We can see that he see through the red. He see all red. Great effect. The fight scene was fantastic, done for real. He hits Dutch, and Dutch says bad idea, punches him, and Predator kicks the shit out of him, and Dutch, who goes in the hole, and there's a trap, and I love when Dutch says, come on, I'm here, go ahead, do it, kill me, do it now, kill me, and he goes around, and he kicks that booby trap, and that long wooden stick falls, that wood falls on his head, that tree falls on the Predator's head and being all blood, and Dutch wants to kills him, but Predator then activates that that explosive device in which Alan Dutch runs. There's a practical effect, explosion, and gets blown to pieces. And by the finale, we see Major Alan Dutch Schaefer that he goes in the helicopter with Anna, and of course, movie ends. And yeah, I kind of skipped because I saw the film, but I love the practical effects. It's actually a horror film, by the third act becomes more a horror film. Great effects, when I love that scene when Meg, he goes, he climbs under Meg, Meg tries to he goes and climbs under the tree, and Predator sees him, through his infrared, he body hit, and uses his plasma gun on shoulder and blows in the head. I love that effect. Or he uses the plasma gun and shoots he goes and shoots Dylan. He goes and shoots Dylan in the arm, and I love the effect, like arm gets cut down, and while Dylan, he has Heckler and Koch weapon, automatic rifle, falls down, and that gun keeps firing with the cut arm. That was so great effect. I mean, they did such a great effect. Joel Hynek and Robert M. Greenberg and Richard Greenberg, and of course Stan Winston. They did such a great effect that the hand has been cut down. I love that. I love the scene when Predator is bleeding. He's like bleeding, like he has like green blood. He's bleeding, and he's like on that tree, and he uses like something against his pain. And he like screams, and we see Anna Elpidia Carrillo being all scared, and she like looks in the air. She's like all scared. I love that effect. I mean, it was shot 1.85 whole widescreen. I love how they shot the film. They actually filmed in New Mexico. It was very hot at the time, and when Arnold was wearing the mat, was actually done for real. It was actually very cold. It was very cold. It was really difficult to film while having mat on him. It was very difficult. So everything that you see was practical done, practical effect, explosions. Like Dutch goes and shoots in the enemy base, with his rifle M16 and his grenade launcher. He shoots the bad guys. That's done for real. The explosions are done for real. I love when Blaine gets killed and Mac uses M60E machine gun, shoots on Predator, hits him the leg, and he uses the mini machine gun. I love that scene. I don't know if you can see, but I love that scene. He uses mini machine gun, and and Dutch and the others, they showed up and start firing, and they don't hit anything. But I love that scene. That scene is the best one, the film. My favorite scene, like Meg grabs M16, he grabs Blaine's minigun, shoots all full pack, and of course Dutch and Blaine and Pancho, they all showed up, and of course Dylan, they all showed up and start firing, but they don't hit anything. I love that scene. That scene is fantastic in my opinion. Done for real. They fired over 100 bullets for I think it was $13 million. They actually fired around 100 bullets. It was fantastic. All the guns are done for real. I think Arnold said that that's actually the reason why the movies work, because they were actually more commando. It's more in Central American jungle. I love the jungle effects. I love the settings, the jungle, how they filmed. I love the forest. I love the characters, the cast. Everything was great. Elpidia Carrillo was great as Anna. I love her. I love when Arnold says, Anna, this thing is hunting us, all of us, and he cuts her. I love when Anna tries to flee a few times because she's a POW. She tried to flee, she tried to escape. They captured her. I love that. There's also a scene in which during the night we see like Max in the jungle with his gun, and of course we see this pig jumps on him. And I love when they put all those traps, and Meg grabs the knife and stabs him. He goes, stabs him, and says, "I kill you, motherfucker." And I think that Pancho says, "Kill you, Van bigger," and he says, "Yeah, fuck you, Pancho, fuck you." And Kill Van bigger, yeah, fuck you, Pancho, fuck you. Love that, And yeah, they also go run with the flashlights, but Anna does not escape. Dutch says, "Look at her, she's scared." I love that scene. I love that scene. I love the machine guns, the weapons, the how they blow everything. Like practical effect, explosions. I mean, I don't know. This movie is the badass. It's the best. I think that a lot of people know. Actually, everyone says that's actually the best one of the franchise, and I agree. I love both of them. Predator 1 and 2, love both of them. And Predator 2 is my favorite sequel, but I love the first and 2. I love both of them. I'm always gonna watch them. It's this movie never gets old. And to me, it's actually one of the best Arnold Schwarzenegger movies that he ever did. Arnold Schwarzenegger's best performance, best. I did last year. I did a movie marathon on him. That means I reviewed all his films that he did, including that Jane Manson film. But most of the films that he did, he was never an actor. He was more a bodybuilder. Sylvester Stallone was an actor. He before he even started the first time in that I think was Italian Stallion, that porn film, he was an actor. Arnold wasn't. Arnold didn't know how to act, but he became better when he did more action movies, and he became fantastic. Jesse Ventura was great in my opinion. Love him as playing. I love when he and Mac, played by Bill Duke says, if you lose it here, I think he said, if you lose it here, this Kansas, I think he said, this Kansas does not look like Cambodia. I think he said something like that. And I love when Max says, you're way long from home. So there's like the soldier in the open scene, Sergio Armstrong, who talks to Arnold, and he says, we all have, we all have our orders, Major, and just love that. I love that Arnold plays Major Alan Dutch Schaefer, a commando. I love that. I love the character that he played. I love the jungle. I love the setting. I love the music score by Alan Silvestri. I love the direction by John McTiernan. John McTiernan was fantastic. He did this movie, Die Hard, that I love to death. What else can I say? Predator is a classic. It's one of the best action films ever. I love the movie to death. Yes, I forgot to mention, I love this movie to death. One of my personal favorite movies of all time. It's a quintessential, epic, pure badass 80s classic. It's a classic action film. RoboCop came out the same year. No offense, but I'll put Predator above RoboCop because I love this movie much more. I love that it's sci-fi. I love that it's a horror effect. I love that it's more a horror film. I also love that it's action film. It's just awesome film. I love this film to death. It's really a best film. I love the visual effects, the effects for Predator, for when he fires with shoulder plasma gun. I love that laser effect. I love that effect goes and hits Mac in the head. I love that scene when Blaine is hit in the back. We see all the blood. I love the blood effects. Practical effects, practical scripts. I just love everything about this film. But yeah, I love Predator. Kevin Peter Hall, rest in peace. Sonny Landham, rest in peace. I really do miss those two actors. And Kevin Peter Hall was the nicest person. He passed away with AIDS. AIDS. He passed away with AIDS. He didn't deserve it. He was only 35 years old. He didn't deserve it that he passed away in April 1991. He didn't deserve it. So rest in peace, Ken Peter Hall. I'm gonna wrote in my description because he was the nice. I love when how they did the effects and he was like smiling in special features. Yes, he was smiling. He was so sweet. He was a nice guy. I didn't know him that much. I'm sorry, but when I saw the special features when he was smiling, he was so nice. I really thought that he was a nice human being. I'm sorry, it's just. I did not know him in person, but I think he was a nice guy, It's a really shame. I'm glad he returned for the sequel, Predator 2, which I'm gonna review tomorrow or soon, which is actually my favorite Predator film. But yeah, Predator 1 and 2 are my favorite of the franchise. I'm also really thinking to review the Terminator films. No, I did not. I don't know if I'm gonna review Alien. I'm not gonna do Alien franchise. But this is actually the first Predator film that I did. I just finished watching it. That's the reason why I'm so late. But like I said, I love the jungle. I love the actors, the cast. 1 hour 47 is fast-paced. The pacing is fantastic. It's fast-paced. It's an action classic. I love Predator 97. But anyway, that's my movie review on Predator 97. Yes, I know it's short review, but already other people did review this film, so they actually much better reviewers than me. No one's gonna watch my video, no one. But yeah, that's what I wanted to say. That is a quintessential, fantastic masterpiece, epic action sci-fi film with horror elements. One of the best film from that Arnold did with Terminator films. I love Terminator films too, but Predator is actually my favorite Arnold film that he actually did. Yes, it's my favorite, and I replaced Terminator 2 Judgment Day with Predator because it's my favorite film. My favorite action film, my personal favorite action film, my personal favorite Arnold film. But yeah, thanks for watching. Have a good Tuesday, and we'll see you the next time in the next video. And that's gonna be Predator 2, which I already reviewed, but I'm gonna review once again. I'm out. Peace.